check all the IoT system devices, whether sensors or actuators, how long these are actuate, working state, in the sleep, how long they are in the sleep state, and how much power they are consuming, overall IoT system, how much power it is consuming. So these all things are going to be taken care by this management. Okay, so here coming to this, if we are here in the web applications, we are using HTML, XML, JSON, but here we are using different, because in our IoT we are doing this machine to machine communication. So machine to machine communication, it can understand only binaries and JSON, CBOR, so these kind of things. And we have for communication MQTT protocols, COAP, XMPP, and AMQP. Okay, so but here we have different protocols. Okay, so IP version 6 low power personal area network, but here we are IP version 6, IP version 4. So likewise we are using, and here we are using IEEE 802.15.4, and these all things are Bluetooth. These things comes under this Wi-Fi. So these all things we are using. Again, coming to here we are using LAN, wireless, and Ethernet, Wi-Fi. So some different technologies, difference. What are the things we are using here? We are what we are using. That's it. Okay. So coming to this next slide, you're seeing here, right? Key technologies for IoT. Key technologies for IoT. What before we have seen one thing, the technologies associated with the IoT, and here we have some key technologies which are involving in IoT. Okay, so those are security and privacy. These are very important. Very important technologies for IoT is security and privacy and future internet. Knowledge aggregation, cloud computing, softwares, and embedded systems, communications, sensor networks, and nanoelectronics. Now, nanoelectronics means this sensors. We are the manufacturers providing sensors and actuators, right? So to do that, they are using the nanotechnology. So this those electronics are the nanoelectronics. Okay, those are the very smallest thing, small electronic devices, the nano electronics. Okay, so system integration and standards and discovery services, these all are key technologies for IoT. Okay, and next thing, that is what next thing we have IoT challenges. What are the challenges in IoT system? Okay, what facing? Okay, our IoT system, what are the challenges currently it is facing? Security challenges we have, because lots of devices are involved in this. So there may be a chance of security attacks. Okay, those, because those all are connected through the internet, right? So internet, we know that there may be a chance of different kind of attacks. Okay, and next is scalability. Scalability, because the internet, this IoT has to be, it's not limited to the some particular area. It's a wide network. So the scalability problems we are facing, and energy efficiency, because everything needs the energy, right? So energy efficiency and bandwidth management, modeling and analysis, interfacing in the sense, the devices has to communicate with each other. So because the devices, it's not easy thing, right? The here the sensors and actuators, if you take some IoT, like this kind of devices, these are not only those things, guys. We use different devices. Okay, different devices are made by the different manufacturers. Okay, they use different things, so each and every device has to connect with that, means it is a very difficult thing. Especially I'm talking about here sensors and actuators. Okay, and next, interoperability. I already told you, some sensor is giving the data t equal to t is equal 26 point c, and some other sensor is producing the data like temperature. So based upon the manufacturer, it produce the input. Okay, we design different, right? Every person design different, so those things the devices, other devices has to understand. So that interoperability should be there. And data storage, data analytics, and complexity management. To do that complexity management, we use some tools like SDN. Okay, so these are the basic challenges, the IoT. uh, IoT is facing. And next we have some considerations when we are building IoT. We should think about these 3 points. Okay, communication between the IoT devices and the outside world dictates the network architecture. Okay, so this is the one thing, one consideration. And next, communication between the devices and the outside world, okay, dictates the complete network architecture of the IoT. Okay, next, the choice of communication technology dictates the IoT device hardware requirements and cost. Yeah, what kind of technology you want to use for implementing our IoT system. So based upon that we choose the hardware, and based upon we choose the hardware the cost will be, right? So that is the one consideration. And next, due to the presence of numerous applications of IoT enabled devices, a single networking paradigm not sufficient to address all the needs of consumer or IoT device. Okay, because here lots of applications are involved, lots of applications are going to be served by with the IoT devices. Okay, so if they are using the single networking architecture, it is not possible to serve all the things, right? So there it is needed different networking technologies, it is needed different associated technologies and different thing it needed to serve other applications, because there may be a weather report, there may be some other like other reports, I mean, like NASA related sensors we get some in the NASA and ISRO, they use some different technologies. There this kind of sensors data, that there it is more useful. Okay, and next, things like in aeroplanes, some different places we are using this IoT, so that needed different technologies, okay, to serve different applications, air traffic, and so these things, and IoT of the vehicles on the road, vehicles how to manage and all. So these things needed different technologies, right? To serve all these things, one single networking is not effective. Okay, we have to use the different more effective networking possibilities. Okay, and next thing, complexity of networks. Oh, what is the concept complexity here? What are the complexity we are facing in this IoT? Because we have the complexity of growth of networks. Because of we want make everything IoT related, right? So to do that, the growth of networks is very complex, right? Because we have to give each and every device, we have to connect with the um, internet. So for that we have to give IP addressing. So it is like IP version 4, we already know that it is going out the range, right? So the growth of, in such cases, the growth of networks is complex. And next, interfacing among the devices to connect one to other devices, because those are made by the different manufacturers. And next, network management, and what are the things we have, heterogeneity in networks, and protocol standardization within networks. Okay, because protocol standardization means, device, some manufacturer he made one device, it is it will use some different protocol, and some other other device it will be connected with some other protocol. So this all protocol standardization is very difficult within the networks. So these are the complexity of networks. And what we have next, wireless networks. Okay, coming to our IoT, we mostly use the wireless networks, right? Okay, in the wireless networks, how it is helping our IoT wireless networks, what we are doing with this wireless networks in our IoT. So here we are going to manage. Okay, here we are going to manage by using the wireless networks our IoT traffic and load management, variations in wireless networks, like wireless body area networks and other personal area networks are also helping in our IoT, and interoperability is possible by using this wireless networks. And network management and overlay networks. Overlay networks means what it does in our IoT, to to make the system virtual, like you have your PC. You want to make a virtual machine inside your PC. Okay, so like you have 500 GB in your hard disk. Okay, 500 GB hard disk you have. So when you are making your system virtual, what happens? You can make apart. I'm making it off. Hardware I want to make it off. I want to give 50% of my hard disk to the virtual machine, and 50% I want to use it for my host machine. Okay, so then that is the virtual. Okay, that will have my host machine. My current PC is using Windows, so that in virtual machine use other operating system like Linux. Okay, so for example, for these things, one VMware software you can. Okay, so for the in that cases we can use this overlay networks in the internet. Okay, so okay, because this VMware, it is available as a desktop application also, you can use it. And just to make you understand, I gave you the examples. In the reality, you can make your system without using the VMware or anything. But if you are using the VMware, if you click on that application directly, you are entering into some other system, that feel you can get it. Okay, so but usually you can make your system in such a way also. Okay, okay, next thing, scalability. I think you already I already maybe you already had faced this, like when you are on your system, sometimes you will come to lab, right? So there you can see that like some systems there it will give you some options like choose Windows or Linux. If you choose Windows, again you are experiencing some other operating system. If you are choosing the Linux, again one more operating system. So what is happening, when you are booting that system, there you are installing the two operating systems. Okay, so likewise the system is shared, right? Okay, likewise. Okay guys, next we have the scalability here. What is scalability? uh, Scalability means extension, how long we can scalable any technology or anything. You see, what we can do, the flexibility within the network, what kind of problems, IoT integration and large scale deployment and real time connectivity of billions of devices. So this all has to be scalable. Okay, flexibility within the network should be scalable, and IoT integration with other devices, and large scale deployment of IoT network. Okay, next thing is real time connectivity of billions of devices to our IoT. Okay, so those things should be scalable. Next, what we have, functionality based IoT protocol organization. See how nicely they arrange the protocols based on the functionality. Okay, every device and everything is having the different functionality, right? So what are the functionalities we have coming to our IoT? We have the different functionalities like connectivity, identification, communication, discovery, data protocols, device management, semantic, multi-layer frameworks. Okay, so for different functionality, we have different protocols. See here, you can see different protocols, right? See, for connectivity, low power personal area network, RPL, EPC. So these all things you no need to, but just just you to make you understand how actually the networking in our IoT. So for that, it is differentiated in this way. From this, the main protocols we talk. Okay, the main protocols only we are going to talk in our syllabus. Okay, so that's the thing. These are all the functionality based IoT protocol organization. If you want to know that which protocol used for which functionality, so see, this is very clear. This IoT, here you are learning from basic to now. If you any person is listen all the classes, it is very clear, you can understand each and everything. We have some specific reason, and for everything it is like detailed they explained. So see, likewise, so here we are going to discuss some important protocols. Okay, so coming to the important protocols, the MQTT. Okay, here we are talking about the MQTT. Where it is MQTT in the functionality of based protocols, in it is coming under the data protocol. Okay, so what it does, this MQTT, This MQTT means what is that? It is a message queue telemetry transport protocol. Okay, and for this ISO standard, what is the standard for this ISO? The number is ISO IEC PRF 20922. Okay, this is the ISO standard for message queue telemetry transport protocol, and it is the publish subscribe based protocol. Okay, likewise, we already read about this in previous computer networks in the web technology. We know that HTTP is a request response based protocol, right? So likewise, we have MQTT. It is a publish subscribe based messaging protocol, lightweight messaging protocol. It mostly used along with this TCP/IP protocol. Okay, so see here, publish and subscribe means, for this here I'll give you some clear idea. Sensors send the data. The data is going to be published to the some server. Okay, some server, the data is going to be there. It is published some data to the server, and from server, the client has to take the data. Means suppose the client, who is the client here? The devices, our normal devices. With my mobile I have to access the data, right? So the actuation process should be done, right? So then how it is going to be done? The client has to reach the data, right? So you see, I will show you the diagram so you can understand. And so we have to use the data from the server. The client has to subscribe to this uh, particular service. Okay, so particular service, the client has to subscribe, then only he can get the published data. Okay, then only he can get the published data. And next we have MQTT was introduced by IBM, and 1999, and standardized by OSIS in 2019, 2013, and it is designed to provide the connectivity between the applications and the middlewares. And not only and one side networks and the communications, so other side. Okay, and next thing, we have some concepts in this MQTT: message broker and a topic. Two concepts we have in this. Message broker, what it does, it controls the publish and subscribe message pattern. Okay, it controls, like, from temperature sensor it takes the data and it will send the data to the device. Okay, likewise. Okay, a topic to which client is subscribed is up, that here is the topic to which a in the form of messages and distributed by the message broker. Okay, the message which is reaching the message broker is in the form of message, right? So that is a topic. Here we call that as a topic. The information it comes to the message broker, right? That we call it as a topic here. Okay, and this is especially MQTT designed for the remote connections and limited bandwidth and small code footprint. Small code footprint in the sense, we are writing a small code. With that small code, we are making the things to function. Okay, we are making the things to function according to the code. So that is a small code footprint. Okay, and next we have MQTT components. In this MQTT components, we have publisher, and next subscriber, and we have the broker. So please guys, this image is not proper, but I'm reading, right? You can understand. Publisher and subscriber, and next third one is the broker. Okay, since publisher in the sense it can be lightweight sensors. Okay, the subscriber in the sense applications interested in sensor data. Okay, what are the things are taking the data? The data, the devices are taking, right? In the devices, like, backend we have devices, right? Devices need the data, right? Those are the subscribers. Okay, these subscribers are subscribing to the data from the sensors. Okay, and next we have the broker, I said, right? What it does, this broker, third one is the broker. In the subscribe place, if the subscribers should be in the green color. Okay, in the purple color you are seeing, right? In this color, broker comes. Okay, here the broker connect publishers and the subscribers and classify sensor data into topics. Okay, because different sensors are going to be connected, right? It has to classify different sensors data, and it has to be make information like separate data it has to keep. Okay, that is topic, we call it as a topic. Okay, and next we have MQTT methods. Okay, in the MQTT methods, what are the methods we have? Connect, disconnect, subscribe, unsubscribe, and publish. First, by seeing this picture itself we can understand. First the sensors has to connect, then if what happens here, the devices has to connect. Okay, if you don't want to connect, then you have an option like if you want to disconnect, you want to reject the service or something, you can disconnect option. And you have a subscribe or unsubscribe. If you want to subscribe to the particular service, you can subscribe. If you don't want, no longer you don't in edit, you no longer you don't want to use it, means you can unsubscribe it. And if you want to publish some, I mean, if the sensors want to publish something, data or something, they can publish the data through the message broker. We can get the data from the backend services. Okay, what we have here, here we have one image. Here you can see the image, temperature sensor. Yeah, this is the how actually using the MQTT the data is going to be published and subscribed. See here, temperature sensor we have, that is sending the data 30 degrees Celsius to the message broker. Okay, message broker, MQTT broker, it went. And from that, what it has to do, the next step, the laptop and mobile devices you are seeing, right? The red color arrow mark you are seeing, right? First it has to subscribe to this particular service. Okay, it has to subscribe to this particular service, message broker. Okay, then it will send the data again. It is publishing the data. You see what is the data, whatever the data it is collected from the temperature sensor, it is again the black color arrow mark you are seeing, right? 30 degrees Celsius, that is sending back to the laptops, and here the mobile devices. Okay, and here the messages are in queue. Okay, so this is how the MQTT broker works. Okay, and coming to the communication of this MQTT, how it is, this protocol uses a publish and subscribe architecture, as I already told you, and HTTP it uses a request and response. Likewise, our MQTT it uses the publish and subscribe architecture. Okay, and this publish subscribe is event driven, enables messages to push to clients. Event driven means sensor sends continuous data, right? If anything in between, any event happen, like some changes happen, so it will send that message to the client, particular client. Okay, this is what happening, the changes. So image changes, it will inform. Okay, the central communication point is the MQTT broker, right? Here you are seeing, right, the central communication point is the MQTT. In this diagram you can see. Okay, which is in the charge of dispatching all messages between the senders and the receivers. Okay, it is sending the messages from the senders and the receivers. Okay, so this is how each client that publishes a message to the broker includes a topic into the message. Yeah, each client that publishes a message to the broker, that includes a topic into the message. Yeah, what topic it includes? 30 degrees Celsius. Okay, 30 degrees Celsius, it is reached the MQTT broker, right? The topic is the routing information for the broker. Okay, the routing information for the broker, and it has to publish if any client, other client is subscribed to the particular service. Okay, this is how. And next, each client that wants to receive messages, subscribers to a certain topic, and the broker delivers all messages with the matching topic to the client. Yeah, particular laptop, here you are seeing, right, this client laptop is a client. Here this is asking for the temperature data, so that particular topic it is sending to the laptop, which is sending the MQTT is sending the data. Okay, therefore the clients don't have to know each other, they only communicate over the topic. Here the temperature sensor doesn't need about need the information about the laptop. Okay, So it just, it just send the data, that's it. They no need to know each other, okay, from which sensor it, from what kind of sensor I'm getting the data, the laptop doesn't need to know, and which to which client it is sending also, it no need to know, okay. That sensor, the temperature sensor's work is to sense the temperature, that's it, okay. To whom it is going and all, they no need to know, okay. And next thing, this architecture enables highly scalable solutions without dependencies between the data producers and the data consumers. Okay. And next thing we have here MQTT topics. Okay. Here in our MQTT protocols, we have topics. Topic, I already told you, right? What is topic? Topic is a simple string. Okay. That can have high levels which are separated by a slash. Okay, we see this is one topic. Okay, we are talking, some information is going, that Celsius information is going, but how exactly the topic form, the what is the format of the topic, we are going to see here. Okay, the sample topic for sending temperature data of the living room could be look like this. Here you can see house slash living room slash temperature. In this way it will send the data. Okay, this way it will send the data. And other hand, on one hand the client can subscribe to, or on the subscribed, okay, in my say temperature sensor in the living room. Okay, so to that only I want to know only the living room temperature. Okay, like exact topic you can, likewise you can choose exact topic like living room, you can choose it. Okay, so it will give you the exact data, like it will send the data like house living room temperature. Okay, if not like that, if you don't want like that, so you can use a wildcard option. Okay, wildcard option. Okay, what is that we see here? The subscription to house ash plus ash slash you're seeing right slash temperature would result in all messages sent to the previously mentioned topic, like house living room temperature, as well as any topic within an arbitrary value in the place of living room, such as house kitchen and temperature. Otherwise this here, that point you leave it, I will explain you about it later. First you see here, first if you see that next 2 points, you can understand it. So that is the exact topic. Okay, that is the exact topic. Here you can get the exact topic like that. We are seeing right what is the format of exact for exact topic. Here we see the plus sign is a single level wildcard. Okay, and only allows arbitrary values for one hierarchy. Okay, so here what happens, this plus sign is, you are seeing here, right? This plus sign, it helps to give you the single value, like room temperature of living room you want, so you can get it. If you want to get more, complete your house all the temperature you want, what is the temperature in other places. Okay, so if you want to get like that, if you want to get like that, if more than one level needs to be subscribed, such as the entire subtree, there is also a multi-level wildcard. Okay, there you can, in place of plus, we are going to get ash symbol. Okay, ash symbol if you are using, then it is going to give the entire house related, how when the word starts with the house, right? House, here you are seeing right in the exact topic house, you are starting house slash it is there, right? So then if you keep asterisk with some symbol, that's it, it will give all the rooms information. If you are giving only house after that plus, then it will give you the value like house living room temperature, only one value it gives. Okay, so likewise it is, I think you understood now. Next we have this. Okay, here one thing I want to make you understand in this, we have topic called concept in the MQTT. Okay, topic is a some information like sensor, the information we are getting, right? So that information, how it actually looks like house living room temperature. Okay, that is a topic. Okay, exact topic if you want, we have to use a
you can use a wildcard option. Okay, in the wildcard option you have to use the plus symbol. If you are using plus symbol particular thing, what like living room temperature, you can take it. If you want to take entire house related things, then you can use ash. Okay, so that is how MQTT topic. Next we have the applications. Applications means where this MQTT presently using. Okay, so in the Facebook Messenger, I think you people may have a Facebook Messenger, right? They are using this Facebook Messenger MQTT. They are using for online chat. Okay, and next thing, Amazon Web Services. Amazon Web Services are also using this MQTT in Amazon IoT. Okay, in Amazon IoT they are using. And next we have Microsoft Azure. In this IoT hub uses MQTT as its main protocol for telemetry messages. Okay, and next thing, everything IoT platform uses MQTT as machine to machine protocol for millions of connected products. Okay, and next we have Adafruit. Okay, Adafruit launched a free MQTT cloud service for IoT experiments called Adafruit IO. So these are the current applications where MQTT protocol currently they are using. Okay, so these are the applications of MQTT. Okay, next thing we have SMQTT. Okay, SMQTT means what? SMQTT means, you know that, right? Secure. As like we have read HTTP. HTTP. Next, secure HTTP. We have read. Likewise, we have SMQTT. This is a extension of MQTT. Secure HTTP is a extension of normal HTTP. So likewise, we have. This is mainly for the security purpose. Okay, this is mainly for the security purpose. Already we know how exactly this MQTT looks like, right? So we see what is this SMQTT is. Secure MQTT is an extension of MQTT which uses encryption based on lightweight attribute based encryption. Okay, here MQTT just like that, but here what is happening, the data whatever we are publishing, only additional thing what is happening in this, the data is going to be encrypted. Okay, for example, in your WhatsApp also all the messages are encrypted, right? So likewise, the messages whatever the sensors are sending, okay, those things are going to be encrypted. Okay, so the main advantage of using such encryption is a broadcast encryption feature in which one message is encrypted and delivered to multiple other nodes. It is quite common in IoT applications, right? One message whatever from temperature sensor, the message came and it is going to be delivered to the different nodes, right? So that is going to be encrypted. Okay, that sending information to the multiple nodes is quite common in our IoT devices, right? In general, the algorithm consists of four main stages. This encryption algorithm, it consists of four main stages. One is setup and encryption and publish and the decryption. Okay, so we see in the setup phase what is happening. The subscribers and the publishers register themselves to the broker and get a master secret key to their developed choice of key generation algorithm. So first what is happening in the setup phase? The subscribers and the publishers are registering themselves to the message broker. That they are registering and they are taking the secret key. Okay, because to encode the message, okay, they need the secret key. When the data is published, it is encrypted and published by the broker which sends it to the subscribers. Okay, which is finally decrypted at the subscriber end, having the same master secret key. Okay, with the key only they can decode, they can decrypt the message. Okay, here already we saw that, right? Laptop we are reaching that the subscriber is getting the message, right? So after getting the message to read it, they need the master secret key. Okay, so that is how. And the key generation and encryption algorithms are not standardized. SQTT is proposed only as MQTT security features. Only for the MQTT security features it is proposed, only for the reason. Okay, so this is what about the SMQTT. Okay, next protocol we have COAP. Okay, COAP means Constraint Application Protocol. Okay, this is a web transfer protocol used for constrained nodes and the networks. Okay, and this is designed for the machine-to-machine applications such as a smart energy and building automation. So that we are using this COAP protocol. Okay, it is based before MQTT we were talking that MQTT is the publish and subscribe based model, but this is the request and response model between the endpoints. Okay, so client server interaction is asynchronous over the application developed by IETF Constant RESTful Environment Group. Okay, these are the people they developed this COAP protocol, and it provides the lightweight RESTful HTTP interface. Okay, actually this REST is the standard interface between the HTTP client and the servers. Okay, REST means what is the representational state transfer protocol. Okay, and it is a standard interface between the HTTP client and the servers, and lightweight applications such as those IoT and could result in this UDP. Okay, and it has a light mechanism to provide the reliability. Okay, and next COAP architecture is divided into two main sublayers. One is the messaging, other one is the request response. Okay, the messaging sublayer is responsible for the reliability and the duplication of messages, while the request and the response layer is responsible only for the communication. Based on the request, it will send the the service, it will give the services, particular services. Based on the response, okay, so likewise it is. And COAP has the four messaging modes. Okay, conformable, non-conformable, and piggyback, and separate. Okay, these are the four messaging modes. Okay, here we see the COAP position. I told you, right, it is built on top of UDP protocol of transport layer. Okay, here we are seeing on top of UDP protocol. How I am talking here, guys. So on top of UDP protocol, it built. So it is a session layer protocol, right? And sometimes people are using it as an application layer protocol, in the sense serving sometimes application layer protocol also. But you see, in this diagram you can see we have UDP protocol. On top of that we are seeing the COAP, and again top we have the application layer, right? And so what it does, it is having, it is, I told you, right, this is after UDP, and down to this application we are seeing this request messages COAP, right? This I already told you, COAP architecture is divided into two main sublayers. See the sublayers, what are the sublayers here? Messages and the request. Okay, the COAP is divided to the messages and the request. Okay, this is the COAP position, actually where it is placed, the COAP protocol. You understood now, right, where it is actually. I told you, right, COAP message types, we have some types in this: conformable, non-conformable, and piggyback, and the separate. Okay, this is a diagram for COAP message types. Okay, and next we have the COAP request and the response model. Okay, request, this I told you, that COAP is a request and response based model, and MQTT is the publish and subscribe model. We have seen how the sensors are subscribed to the, how the sensors are publishing the data to the message broker, and how the laptop and mobile devices, we have seen that how they are subscribed and getting the services from the message broker. That is the what is that, publish and subscribe model. Okay, here we are seeing the COAP, right? This is a request and response. Okay, client server, we are having, right? Confirmable message, how it is looks like, and non-confirmable message you are seeing, right? So first, to confirm, client will send the request. Okay, confirmation it will send. Then after that, next, the server will send the acknowledgement. Here that is no confirmation, it is not required. Direct, based on the request and response, it is going to serve in the non-conformable. In the coming to the conformable, what happens, first client has to send some confirmation, then only the server will send some acknowledgement. Based on that, the services, the request response services are going to take place. Okay, next here we see actually conformable and non-conformable modes represent the reliable and unreliable transformation. Other request and non-conformable modes, right, represent reliable and unreliable transmissions. Okay, respectively, while create, update, and delete. So as like, HTTP, it uses, right, get, put, push, delete messages, it utilizes, right? So COAP also, because HTTP and COAP both are using the request and response model, right? So what are the services HTTP protocol is using, same COAP is also using. Okay, so here you can see the COAP request response model, piggyback message, and separate message. Here we all, what are these things? These are the four messaging modes. Okay, confirmable messaging mode, non-confirmable messaging mode, piggyback messaging mode, and separate messaging mode. Okay, so here how the piggyback messaging and how separate messaging, here we can see, right? Here these are all things today I can cover. See guys, how many things, even I'm continuously speaking also, how many topics are left. So guys, I don't want to make it fast, because the time is going on, right? I have to take the attendance. So guys, please, do join in other classes. These are very lengthy topics. I thought to finish the basics of IoT and start the communication protocol. Still, I am unable to do so. See how many slides are there. See how many slides again I have to explain, to finish this basics of IoT. See guys, these are the topics I have to finish, and tomorrow I have to start again the communication. Actually, I thought today I can finish, but how much I'm explaining also, the things are not getting over. So please guys, don't miss any class. These things you can't understand even you try to read. Please, it takes time. So one thing I want to confirm, so these things we talk from tomorrow. Tomorrow we talk from this request response model, and these things we discuss. Okay, COP has in the four modes, right? Confirmable, non-confirmable, piggyback, and separate. These four things we discuss tomorrow. Okay, the COAP position is over. What are the types? These types we discuss tomorrow clearly, and we go move on to the next topics. Okay, as soon as. And okay guys, so for today I'm ending this meeting. You give me your attendance. Okay, guys, please tell me that are you understanding till now? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you so much, 503. Okay, so we see the next thing in the next topics. Okay, in the next class we see. Please, guys, for now you give me attendance. Don't miss the next classes, guys. These topics are very lengthy. I don't think that you will read. Okay. Okay, so guys, please give me your attendance. Let me call your numbers. 535.
Present, ma'am.
Okay, next 550.
Present, ma'am.
Okay, 503.
Present, ma'am.